Today on Uncommonly Good MTG, we are playing my top 5 favorite decks from September 2023. Top 5 favorite decks day. Top 5 favorite decks day. Will your deck make my top 5? Stay tuned to find out more. Hello and welcome to Uncommonly Good MTG. I am your host, and much like you, also am a human. Dr. You Can't Suck It. Yes, thank you. Filmed before a live studio audience. Thank you so much. You Can't Suck It. Word to your mama. So I'm broadcasting to you today from my secret underground headquarters, and it's top 5 favorite decks day. Yes, I love today. Today's the day when I look back upon the last month and I say, what were my favorite decks that we played out of that previous month? So yeah, we're going to be taking a look back on all the decks we played in September and picking out those top 5 decks, and we're going to play them one more time and talk about what made them awesome. So, September, if we look back upon it, the thing that really got me about it is we had Wild of Eldraine coming out. And yet somehow out of that, the thing that really seemed to happen a lot, Mono Black. Mono Black. Sometimes you look back and you see a particular card kind of became really, really popular with me. Love playing it. Saw some different versions of a particular mechanic or something. I remember when I was playing like humans versions of stuff, mono white human, and splicing that into some dual decks. I remember when it was was it called Urbrask's Forge month? I think that was May. Yeah, this last month, September, mono black, a ton of it. The thing you're gonna find out, only one mono black deck made it to the top 5 favorites decks list, though. That's it. That's it. In your face, David Tatum, only one. Only one. I know you hate it when I play mono black decks, but and there you go. You're not going to see too much of it. But one of them did. One of them did make it. All right. So what we need to do before we play is we need to talk about what makes a deck one of my favorites. All right. So what makes a deck one of my favorites? Let's run down the list and we'll talk about it. Number 1. The deck has a good chance of winning. So for me, it's not about, a deck that's going to climb you up the ladder. It's going to get you up to that, whatever diamond or mythic level. I'm just looking for something that has a good chance of winning. I mean, I don't know, 55, 60%, anything right around there is usually good for me. I want to win more times than I lose, as long as it does other things as well, which we'll be talking about here in just a second. But there has to be a good chance of winning. If it's under 50%, man, usually that deck doesn't hold it together for me very long. Number 2, it has to put up a good fight. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm looking for there. I'm looking for the deck that's putting up a good fight and has a good chance of winning. Like you got a lot of those decks, maybe it's like I get kind of really bored with control decks because all you're doing is just keeping your opponent from doing anything. And that's not a good fight. That's just being dumb. I want to see some creatures swinging. I don't know. I mean, maybe we're going to shock people every once in a while. Sure, that's fine. But I kind of want a lot of creature action there. Or there needs to be something really interesting going on with what your deck's doing. Like somehow I find mill decks to be fantastic, even though they don't really do anything. But that's the thing about mill decks is that they have their own fight they're playing. And I respect that for some reason. But yeah, it's got to be going towards something. But if your deck is just sitting there swirling around the drain the whole time, and that's just stupid. And then control decks, counter spells, man, nope, that's not gonna play it with me. Number 3, the deck has to have interesting cards, or the synergy between your cards has to be interesting. So some cards are interesting unto themselves, like Urbrask Forge, right? I'd say another one would be like the Sholdrids themselves. Those guys are, you know, especially Sholdrid. What is it? The first one, the one that every time somebody draws a card, like you get 2 life, the other people lose 2 life. Love that. I think those decks, those cards are interesting unto themselves. But the synergy that of cards coming together, like a good tribal deck, like when you had elves and each elf is equal to the number of elves that you have otherwise. That kind of synergy, man, I just find that to be so incredibly cool. So that's what I'm also looking for in a good deck is interesting cards or the synergy between the cards, making it an interesting deck to play. Lastly, I got for bonus points in there, a big finish. It doesn't have to be there. Your deck can just do what it needs to do. I love a big finish. That's kind of what I like a lot about mill decks is the fact that a lot of times, the last time you do something, you're milling them. You're getting rid of like, I don't know, whatever, like 12 cards or something. Or I love it when, let's talk about Boros Nuke. When you get that Devilish Valet out, he's got haste, he's got trample. You manage to also attack with like 6 dudes at that one time, which then causes like the white enchantment that doubles all your attackers up. So you get like 7 other guys to come out, and Devilish Valet gets like 526 for his tough or for his power. That is a big finish. God, I love that stuff. Huge. What were they? Fireballs back in the day where you just got a ton of mana. Or you can do a Shivon Devastator who's like really super strong, flies over with haste and kills somebody. Love it. Working your way towards that big finish. There's some planeswalkers now that do that, where you can get them up to 7 and you give all your creatures trample plus, you know, +1/+1 for each forest you have. Man, that is so incredibly cool. So yeah, those are the kinds of things that make a favorite deck to me. So yeah, that's it. Well, let's go out now and see what were my top 5. Starting off is in 5th place. Let's see. All right, we're playing against Spicy Beef. Spicy Beef. I'm going to go for the Oath Sworn. She's got Menace. He's just killing him. Alright, Shakedown Heavy. All right, get out there, rat boy. And I'm winning. And another Oathsworn. What am I at? 4 mana? Alright, time to rip apart his graveyard, apparently. One point. You want to throw away a card? Nice wipe on my board. Alright, 5 and nothing. Gone. We're just playing Denial like crazy. All right, love to get out to value Virtue of Persistence. Love to. I just don't think it's going to happen. We got to get there. Glutton, huh? All right, 1 and 2. Yeah, discard that second card. Down to 9. Ooh, we're getting very close. Question is, it could be a race. Is it going to be Phyrexian Flesh Gorger? He's bouncing my guy back, huh? Taking that damage, he's down to 3. You want to counter it? Is that what you're going for? Nope. Oh, you vicious jerk. Welcome to the battle tone. It's countering. Oh, I would kill you for that if you were right in front of me. I'd punch you in the face. And we win! In your face, spicy beef! In your face! Alright, so we are with Menace V2. Version 2. Why V2? Because we already had a Menace deck, V1. And this is the second version of it. We started using some Wilds of Eldraine in here. And I thought it made the deck better. So the big thing about Menace is that Menace has been around forever, and I always forget about it. You know, you see it on your card, you think, oh, Menace, blah, 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 blah. They can block with 2 creatures, who cares? Problem is, if you got a bunch of creatures with Menace, then it makes it really hard for them to block all of your creatures. You're pretty much guaranteed to get through. It'd be like playing blue and playing with unblockable guys all the time. They just can't do anything about it. The thing that's nice about black Menace guys is that usually they got something good going on, such as the Orzhov, who gets Popos. Every time it deals combat damage to a player, Shakedown Heavy, they can usually just make that thing undo it. That's not too bad whatsoever. Who else is Menace here? Yeah, the Phyrexian Flesh Gorger's got Lifelink. So there's usually some other things going on with the black ones that make them be able to be Menace and something else at the same time. So it's just so hard for them to block it. So that was the whole point of this deck. We got Creature Kill. We're thinning out their pack. And Menace, so that way we can get our guys through. As long as we keep them with 1 or less creatures on the battlefield, there's nothing they can do to defend against the creatures that we have. The one card that was bad about this, I think, was Painful Quandary. It's a little expensive at 5, and it doesn't really help the deck out too much. I kind of felt like we might be able to do something a little bit better. But other than that, the whole big thing about this deck was just trying to find the right balance between creatures and creature kill. So I think that's what we got going on here. So it's got a nice balance to it. So anyways, this was one of my favorite decks of September 2023. All right, I'm playing against E13. E13. All black. That's the way that it should be. No poop dragons. What are we doing here? 3/3/6s? Drawn Icar gets to murder something. Looks like we're just murdering things. All right. Sewer King. Rip that graveyard apart. I'm fairly certain he just needs some targets to start shooting stuff. There we go. He doesn't seem to have any instance ability. He doesn't have any mana. Alright, what up to? 4. We need at least 5 to be able to play Vraska. I got 5th one right there. You're not giving much of a choice there. I can always bring this one back from the graveyard. Let's see what we draw on our next turn. He's not putting anything out. Vraska's not really helping. We'll go ahead and play it for that. All right, Sewer King. Somebody needs to drown a Nicker, and it's you. We got a lot of kings here, don't we? Rat King is going to be cool. That guy is more than I can handle. Of course, I can kill with this. That's fine. Two life lost to me. Welcome to the fold, my friend. Go get him, toxic boys. Alright, now Vraska with Proliferate is going to work out pretty well. Not Painful Quandary. He's not putting anything out. We'll get rid of that. Alright, that guy's up to 6. Two of those aren't cool. I get rid of one of them. Let's just do that. Let's Sewer King it. And we'll give up that boy. I'll tell you what, we're going to go ahead and send in Mishra's Foundry as well. I should have gone. I didn't see the creatures in there. I should have gone against the creatures. Alright, so if I was him, I would be blocking onto the Rat King. Yep. That is a lot. Alright, so according to him, he's removed my ability to do more poison to him. It's just Vraska at this point. But the Rat King in my hand says differently. Not going to matter. Good thing I've had tons of guys. Alright, doesn't matter. Let's just go to town. And we win in your face, Toxic Jones. Victory! Alright, so here we are with the Rat King. And, you know, one of the reasons why this was one of my favorite decks this month was because it was a true tribal deck. And it was a rat tribal deck. And it was like little rats, not like big rat dudes. You know, because when you got to Kamigawa, you got those rat people, but they're just referred to as rats. And it's cool, they're ninjas, whatever. I like this one because it's just rats. It's just little tiny rat guys. I mean, sure, they're not really little tiny. I mean, but, you know, they're like big rats the size of dogs, maybe. See, look at that rat there, Lord Skitter's Butcher. That guy is so cool looking. Anyway, so that's what I like about this deck is that it is a true tribal deck. That the rats work with each other. That everything becomes better the more rats you get out. That they keep putting more rat tokens out constantly. It works really good. I like the fact that it's got toxic to it without being an over the top toxic deck. You know, that's kind of what the Rat King himself brings to the mix there. Is the fact that other rats you control have toxic 1. Because sometimes doing damage isn't just enough. You need to be able to do that toxic because they can't heal it up. And you only have to do half as much as you do anything else. One of the coolest thing is the Twisted Swister Witch. I see, there she is. And then, yeah, it puts a Wicked Roll on to each rat you already have in play, which gives them all 1 Popo counter. And then whenever they die, it does your 1 point, you know, each opponent loses a life. So that is really, really, really cool in my book because it makes your rats generally twice as potent as before. Plus, they're all automatically going to lose life every time one of your rats dies. So the more you got, the worse it gets. This is one of those weird decks where I'm actually using Drown and Ichor just for its as creature removal. You know, it does -4, -4. I mean, that's what it's supposed to do, I suppose. I always just feel like that doesn't work out, but how's that any different than doing 4 points of damage to anything? It doesn't really matter. It's a good one, and it proliferates, because this deck is kind of hoping that you're going to be able to get... So that's why we have the proliferate in here, because we're hoping we get the Rat King, which means we can get a little bit of toxic, and the more we can proliferate after that, the more likely we'll be able to get a toxicity win out of the deal. Still, it's a nice, tight, tribal deck, doing what tribal decks do best, which is helping each other out. Here's the card that I dislike the most is the Tribute to Harabi. I just hate giving my rats to other people. Sure, I get them back, and sure, you can sacrifice them to draw cards and stuff like that. But it's not a rat, it's spirit after that. This guy's a spirit. He's a spirit of ratitude, I suppose. But anyways, it was a great deck. It was great playing something tribal, and it was a new tribal at that. So, all power to you, Rat King. You gave me faith in the institution once again. Good job. Up and against IEsTAGiARiOI. IEsTAGiARiOI? There we go. I think I got it. You put those things on either end. I understand those are brackets, but they're letters, man. IEsTAGiARiOI. Why are the letters in those capitals that way? Just because you felt like it? Alright, Pixie, go ahead and get yourself in the pod. Alright, so at 2 we can kill something, at 3 we can start pulling things off of his library. What do we want to get rid of here? Do we want to get rid of anything? Oh, cool. I kind of like what I got. Let me touch you with the expensive taste there. Ooh, mountains. Question, should I put a dragon out, or should I just go ahead and kill that guy? I don't think I should kill that guy. He's playing all of his cards, though. That's the problem. All right, we're up to 4. Here's a nice Decadent Dragon. I'm fine with that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Six. Can't shoot anything. That's cool. Let's start playing some Atali's. Sure. What's in my graveyard? Yeah, let's play those guys, sure. Let's go for a little speed, maybe. A little build on. Yeah, Chandra, sure. No, you're not consistent. Oh, we got lots of stuff. Now we just gotta, like, not get killed. And we win! In your face, potty pants! In your face! Alright, so here we are. We're looking at Rakdos ramp. I mean, technically it's got green in it, but yeah, I'm not even sure why. There's got to be green somewhere in here that we can potentially use. I don't see it. Anyways, somebody thought the Zatora would be good, so that's what made the green, I think. Maybe because that way we can cycle it out if we wanted to. Anyways, what I like about this deck is the fact that it's a ramp deck. I really like using Decadent Dragon. It's not, because it helps. What does it do? I like the artwork on it, really. I like the fact it's got Flying Trample and the fact that it creates a treasure token whenever it attacks. I really like that. I like the Iron Crag. It's not really ramp. I mean, sure, we're getting something out. And we can use it for colorless mana straight off the bat. And it helps out any legendaries we got going on. We have a few legendaries in here, so it's not completely wasted otherwise. The Kobold Saga creates treasure token 1 and then 2. And then you can start playing from, and they're playing from our opponent's library. We're doing that a lot between Kobold and Decadent Dragon and Breach the Multiverse and Atali. We're playing from our opponent's graveyard. This thing's got burned down the house, which has been one of my favorite cards for such a long time now. If Standard didn't have the change out, this card would have been gone by now, and I would have been crying. But still, it's around. And if I had to play a Dr. Suckit cliche deck, this would totally be in it. Totally be in it. So what I really like about this is that it is Rakdos, black and red, but it's got ramp. It's ramping yourself forward. Volcanic Sprite, what does this thing do? It seemed to me like it was much more. Oh, let's do a little bit of card draw. It's all good. Everything about this is good. What I really like is when you're doing like Virtue of Persistence, and then you end up getting like an Atali out of the deals. So you're just doing all of this stuff where you're bringing more cards back in. And then if you can grab another Atali or about Virtue of Persistence, or I'm not talking about that, I'm sorry, Breach the Multiverse and Atali. So you can sort of stack where you're just going through people's libraries and pulling stuff out and putting them into play. And you just end up with all of this stuff just out of nowhere that's so powerful and incredible. That's what I really like it when this deck does. So yeah, this deck is got a nice smooth start to it. It has the ability, you see, we could take out mono red aggro. We have the ability to control it early enough And eventually we just start laying down the smack in a way that they just can't deal with anymore. I know myself, when people start putting out Breach the Multiverse, many times you're just like, that's it. This thing's gotten way out of control. If I don't have what it takes to even put up a decent defense, I am just toast at this point. So Breach the Multiverse, Atali, those guys usually are just the game overs right there. And this deck makes good use of them. Very good use of them. All right, so there you go. Rakdos Ramp. All right, we're playing against was it Lalalek? Lalalek. Keep. All right, so 3 is really where our sweet spot's at right now. All right, let's lay this down. Like the hand of God. You gotta give it up, yo. All right, I'm sensing Urbrash Forge into my future. He's gonna hate it. Mono Black can't kill artifacts off. I mean, they can, but it's so rare. This guy get me anyway. All right, we'll use Magmatic Sprinter to just take it to the win, I think, at this point. Right down there, baby cakes. I need to leave the Sprinter alone. Five. Let's see. It's 5 potentially. I could definitely use that to start getting rid of things. Somebody's trying to combo me is what I'm seeing here. Let's just take something out. I'll tell you what, we'll do this. Come on. You can do it. Alright, you want to try to protect yourself or put a dude out? Well, hello, my friend. So, yeah, our pal here, and you're just trying to boost these things up. All right. You only have one. Can't win if you don't attack. Tell you what, we will start wiping his dudes out. That's going to be bad for him. Yoink. All right, Magmatic Sprinter. Right there. Let's let it go. All in. And oh, I don't have enough for that guy. I'm cool. Let it happen. Next turn we got this guy. And I got enough to abrade. That's what I lost a little bit. I could have done Monumental Facade to put more tokens on him. Probably could have won the game. No, it would only been an additional one. So Silly would have been down to 1 instead. Lifelink. Just rip that dude's face off. There we go. In your face, suckerfish. And we win! Victory! Here's Rakdos Forge. And I love a good Rakdos Forge deck. It's so beautiful. But number one, because I love the combination of Urbrass Forge, Magmatic Sprinkler, and the Monumental Facade. Those, I mean, just because these guys are just dumping stuff onto Urbrass Forge, getting it so big every turn. The worst part is when they come out with like mono white and they just banish it or whatever to Nowheresville and you never see it again. That's the suck. And we don't really have the ability to take out any enchantments here. So what can you do about it? This comes back to a targeted creature. So that doesn't really help us out too much. But yeah, when this deck gets rolling, it is so hard for them to stop. And you just keep growing and growing and growing. All will be one throws in there nicely. What goes nicely with that? Invasions do, because they come out with 4 counters on them right there. So that's 4 points of damage you're passing around. That one comes out with 4 pounds of damage you're passing around. This one comes out with 4 points of damage you're passing around. Plus, we got direct creature damage in here. Even Omnixilus is just pretty fantastic. So once again, this is just a great deck with a decent amount of creature control. And just a pure aggro standpoint that is so hard for people to live up to. That's why this is one of my favorite decks of September. All right, we are playing against Darkada. Darkada. 2 mana. I'm not a big fan of that. So I'm going to mulligan this one. We'll see. Much better. Keep. And let's get rid of the curse. That's not so helpful. Alright, so Rugged Highlands are our best first step since we got nothing to play for 1. Let's see what we draw, though. Yeah, nothing. He shot me in the face. Alright, let's get a Scrap Gorger in there. It's up to 3. We'll have 4. We need 5 for that. What are you going to do? Just start shooting it? And nothing, huh? I see a Shivan Devastator. I don't have an additional land to play. On! He really wants that dragon. He doesn't have the mana for it, though. I can't do anything either, though, unfortunately. All right, so we got that guy at 2. Being a ramp deck, we're certainly not ramping very well. Basically, we've got to get to Defiler of Vigo. He is trying so hard. Still don't have to be able to kill it. I can kill it on my next turn. There he is. Oh, what are we going to get rid of here? Let's get rid of the filers. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, I got that guy pumped up to a 3 throughout this land. Alright, so we put out Defiler of Vigo on this next turn. I don't care. What about this? I can tell whenever you house. Just kill it. Chew it up! Everything he does is dangerous, unfortunately. Still, he's only a 3. You can play that Devastator now. Alright. 2 basic cards. I can get a guy out of the deal that has Vigilance and Haste. I know you want to play your dragons so badly. What does that thing cost up there? 2, 3, 4, 5. You got it. You got it. What's that thing? A 4-4? Oh, look at it. It's a 5-4. All right, we're coming. We're coming for you. Yeah, that's fine, man. I don't need it. Draw another card. Perfect. Hunger Dominus is going to be insane-o. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because I'll be swinging with 14 trample on my next turn. It'd be bigger than that, too. I might just want to let whatever he's got going on. If I can keep Beanstalk alive. I mean, what's he really doing? He's acting as a good defender. Yeah, you. Alright, that decision is over. Let's go, Darkada. Touch your leaves. Alright, you have no mana, so you got nobody to block with. You think that, oh yeah, you can make it through. You got 10 life, I can only do 7 points of damage. Double. And we win. Giant explosion at the end. Victory. Alright, here we are with Gruul Rampasaurus. And this probably was my favorite deck of September. I really enjoyed this deck. What I liked about it was that you were working hard at the beginning of the game to try to get out stuff, and you had a lot of good creature kill going on. A Braid, Lightning Strike, Volcanic Spite, that's what that's called, yeah. Plus, you had your ramp stuff going on between Bushwhack and Scrap Gorger and the Bramble Familiar. You know, you're able to just really kind of get that mana going on there. When you hit Invasion of Zendikar, it just rocketed you up into this upper level, and these guys were incredibly cool. One thing I really like about this deck was the fact that Urbrass Forge is in here, which I love Urbrass Forge. The fact that it comes out relatively cheap, but then just keeps growing and growing and growing like a disease. And of course, Plukranos is incredible for his cost. As long as you got 3 green, and between our dual lands and regular lands, yeah, 3 greens is usually not a problem. So yeah, this deck had such a good balance, and despite being a ramp deck, it had a lot of good stuff going on early game. And of course, like Hunger Dominus, making all of you guys have double power and toughness at the beginning of each combat. So that means even at their combat, you're still ramping up, and they're just becoming insane. And we got Trample, like Itali has, like Tyrannus Rex, Defiler Vigo. People just can't hold up against it. Plus, if you get out a nice Nissa, her Super Saiyan ability of giving all your creatures, you know, popos for each forest you control, and they gain trample. Yeah, that's it. So this deck is just filled with such incredible explosive value and the ability to get there in a relatively decent time. That's why Gruul Rampasaurus is my pick as my favorite deck of September 2023. Here we are with the list, the final list of those decks that made up my top 5 favorites of September 2023. I was surprised that more mono blacks didn't make the list. There were some good mono black decks this month. It's just that somehow I just really like the ramp decks quite a bit. And you know, tribal, I always have a soft spot in my heart for tribal. And Rats did not disappoint. God, I love that Rats deck. It was super good. But, you know, Gruul, baby. It's really hard for me to turn it down. I love aggro. I love big green. Gruul puts all that together and makes it all happen. So, yeah, that's probably why Gruul was my number 1. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed September as much as I did. And if you decide to play these decks again, I hope that you have as much fun as I did. That's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. From all of us here in the underground secret headquarters of Uncommonly Good MTG, have a great day. In the words of my people, be excellent to each other and party on, dudes.